The good times didn't last. The dot-com bust put an end to all of it. Michael and I wound up living on a Section 8 in the midst of the most dangerous, drug-riddled section of the city, the Bayview. Michael continued his theater work and I was determined that the kids in our building were going to be safe.
It's a tough neighborhood. This 4-block stretch on 3rd Street in San Francisco's Bayview is home to 6 liquor stores. There have been 5 shootings here this year, and the sound of sirens is all too common. But if you listen closely, you'll hear something more.
That's great.
Children are learning. Leading this homework club is Dan Vojir, a resident of the Bayview Commons apartment complex. 30 low-income housing units that's home to families from all walks of life.
The first feeling I got when I moved here is that it was almost not a fortress, but it was trying very desperately to be a safe place for people who were going to try to fix their lives up just a little bit better.
Dan and his partner moved to the complex 3 years ago. He was surprised to find almost half of his neighbors here are children. But quickly, these youngsters became more than neighbors to Dan. They were family. And the apartment's conference room became this family's community center. Last year at the complex's annual holiday party, Dan volunteered to read to the night before Christmas to the kids. Well, he got such a great response that it gave him an idea.
This one is actually called the Teeny Tiny Ghost.
So Dan started Storytime Adventure, a once-a-week gathering at the complex for children to enjoy the wonders of reading.
What I like to teach them is that there's a great big world out there.
A world where a good education will make all the difference for these kids. So Storytime turned into a nightly homework club.
Yeah, it helps us a lot for us to do homework when it's complicated to do it at home when your parents not around. He helped us learn how to do our math.
And though his own disability with HIV often leaves Dan tired at the end of the day, he now tutors individuals, like April Bryant, a college student with cerebral palsy.
He's been there for her. I don't care what time it is, how many hours. Dan stays with her one-on-one down there in the office.
April's grandmother, Jean Anderson, is raising 4 grandchildren at the Bayview Commons.
So have all you guys done your homework? Who has homework with Mr. Dan tonight?
She says Dan's commitment to the children is priceless to single parents and working families trying to make a better community for their kids.
We have our own world here in this building. I mean, I wish the outside world could be like the one we have here inside this building.
It's not like I'm doing anything extra special. If I'm there and I'm available and somebody is in need of something, fine. That's really what life is all about.
For helping to build a safe community for the kids in his neighborhood, this week's Jefferson Award goes to Dan Vojir of San Francisco. Kate Kelly, CBS 5,